Hi, my name's Amy, and I'm a certified nutritionist, and I'm also a six-time nutrition author. I'm also someone who used to struggle with really bad cholesterol. So, if you're someone who has bad cholesterol, you're definitely not alone. It affects millions of people every year. And I just wanted to give you some of my tips that I used personally to solve my own bad cholesterol levels. So back when I was 22 years old, I just went in for a normal physical and blood work, and the doctor told me that my bad cholesterol, the LDL, was very high, and my good cholesterol was also moderately high. So my total cholesterol certainly needed to be reduced. He told me that it was genetic, and by the time I was 40, I would definitely be put on statin drugs because there was probably nothing I could do about it with food alone. So flash forward to a few years later, kept getting blood work done, same thing, bad cholesterol. By the time I was 29, it had gotten much worse and I had extremely bad cholesterol. So once again, the doctor verified that I would be on a statin drug by the time I'm 40 because my dad had bad cholesterol. He had also had a couple of strokes, and I was just told it was genetic. So I pretty much just chalked it up to bad luck and I couldn't do much about it. I also thought to myself, I don't really eat, I mean, especially when I was 22, when I was in college, I wasn't eating steak. I wasn't even really eating eggs. I wouldn't say that I was eating the typical things that people think give you bad cholesterol. I was really on kind of more of the standard American diet, cereal in the morning, sandwich at lunchtime, even something like pasta with chicken and Alfredo sauce for dinner, just kind of very normal standard American diet. So I wasn't really piling in the steaks, the eggs, the typical things that people always associate with bad cholesterol. So of course, I just thought it was genetic, and I chalked it up to I guess I'll just have to go on a statin drug when I'm 40. So, flash forward to my early 30s. This is where I really started gaining weight as well because I used to be an athlete when I was younger. And you start getting an office job and you're sedentary and your nutrition habits are basically the same as when you were a teenager. So not only is my cholesterol getting worse, but my weight problem is getting worse also. And I'm happy to report now that I'm almost 47 years old and I am not on a statin drug, and my cholesterol levels are in perfect range. So I hope that these three tips really help you as well if you try to implement them for at least 6 months. One of the main things that really hurts your cholesterol levels is carbs and sugar. And that's kind of, those are the things that aren't really on the radar. People just assume it's fat only. They don't even take into consideration the carbs and sugar. There is a function within your liver where too many excessive carbs and sugars are processed and converted into bad fat, which affects the liver. If you've heard of non alcoholic fatty liver disease, this is the type of liver disease that is very similar to the liver disease that alcoholics get, but it has nothing to do with alcohol. It's the effect of too many carbs and sugar on the liver. So, this in turn can also really contribute to bad cholesterol levels. So, tip one is to reduce your carbs and sugar. Everything from very obvious sugars like soda, desserts, donuts, cakes, high carb items like bread and pasta. You can eat those within moderation to a degree, but you really want to reduce those to down to one serving per day if you want to make a dent in your bad cholesterol. And not to mention, this will really help with weight loss. Tip number two, start eating more fat. Another counterintuitive tip. Now, when I say start eating more fat, I'm not saying to pile in bacon and hot dogs and fried foods and fast foods. You have to choose healthy fats, things like wild salmon, extra virgin olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds, yes, egg yolks. I know that eggs have been given a bad name, but that really dates back to the 1960s when a bunch of Harvard scientists were paid off to demonize fat instead of sugar. So egg yolks were kind of looped into the whole fat is bad for you. Egg yolks are actually very healthy. There are very little studies to show that the cholesterol, the dietary cholesterol in egg yolks really raises your bad cholesterol. And the American Heart Association back in 2015 actually took away most of their restrictions on eggs. So definitely incorporate your egg yolks into your healthy high fat eating. Tip number three, get a lot of fiber. Fiber helps to reduce bad cholesterol, and it also helps with weight loss because it keeps you fuller for longer. So you're more satiated throughout the day, and it keeps your blood sugar levels even. Earlier, I mentioned to really cut back on the high carb and high sugar items. Now, when it comes to carbohydrate sources, of course, you want to eat carbs. My favorite carbohydrate sources that include a lot of fiber are green vegetables, lettuces, cruciferous vegetables, low sugar fruits like grapefruit, blueberries, raspberries, even apricots and apples would be fine. So if you eat those, the vegetables and the fruits, instead of things like bread and pasta and cereals, you're going to get far more superior nutrition out of those whole vegetables and fruits. You get everything from micronutrients to the fiber to a low glycemic carbohydrate source. And then one more bonus tip, it's kind of obvious, I didn't really plan on including it. Just try to cut back on fast food, ultra processed foods, and soda. That one tip alone is so highly effective for everything from lowering your cholesterol to lowering your blood sugar and to losing weight and giving you more energy and feeling better. So, those four tips together, if you have bad cholesterol right now, implement the tips, know what your cholesterol levels are once you start implementing the tips, check back in 3 months, get some blood work done, and check again in 6 months. And I'm very confident if you follow those four tips that you will certainly lower your bad cholesterol.